Hey YouTube, James from the Wyvern Watch here, and welcome to a deck update this time. Of course, this is my Stardust Synchron deck, one I'm definitely not an expert on, but sort of having a casual play with. This list, I would definitely, well, it's a little bit of an updated list, that's hence why I'm not going to go through the whole profile today. Well, I mean, I'm going to go show you every card, but I'm not going to go through every effect or anything. But yeah, it's just got a few new cards obviously released fairly recently, mainly one really, and then but yeah, I just wanted to sort of show you the updated list. I wouldn't say this is a sort of meta competitive deck. You won't find any hand traps in here. That's not the idea of this particular build. It's just a bit of fun, get as many synchro monsters on the field as possible. And just good old Yu-Gi-Oh! Really, that's what this deck's all about. So like I say, I'll just rattle off the list and then I'll go through the change that I made from the last update that I did. But of course, the first card is Junk Synchron. Now, I've had these cards a long time. I've been playing this game a long time, and I got these to go into my original sort of warrior archetype deck rather than sort of having an actual archetype. It was just generic warriors, and I got these three for that deck as soon as synchro monsters came out, and it was just obviously just added a great addition to the deck, and I've never really gone back on them. Like I say, the original print ones are absolutely amazing. There's lots of new prints now, to be fair, but I've stuck with my old ones. And rather unusually, I've gone for three trail as well, really because of the artwork, a little bit of artwork appreciation time. But yeah, she's absolutely stunning and a good card. Most decks I see sort of tend to play it at one, if at all, to be honest with you. But you know, I've stuck with it because I like the card, and that's, you know, what it's all about sometimes. Still running 3 Stardust Synchron as well. You know, the original print secret rares, and like I say, I think a lot of decks tend to run it at 2 now, but that's when you started to squeeze a load of hand traps in, which is not really something I'm interested in, certainly not with this deck anyway. So still on 3 Synchron, and of course Junk Converter. My good friend Dark Magician 84 will recognise 1 or 2 of these. I can't remember how we did it now, but he had 2 blue ones and one red one, and I had 2 red ones and 1 blue one. So, well, either that or the other way around. And we just obviously did a bit of a trade, so we've got all 3 of the same colour. But yeah, these are the red rare ones. Junk Converter, pretty standard out of 3, I would definitely say. Just a couple of 2-offs. So I've got 2 Doppel Warriors. Again, relatively standard stuff, and also 2 Assault Synchron. It's the only deck I actually run this card in, which is amazing really, because I've run a few synchro decks, but I suppose it's just, I'm just sticking with the archetype really. These are proper synchron monsters. And then a few one-offs. So we've got 1 Revolution Synchron. Let's see if we can get all these in. 1 Jet Synchron. In fact, the Jet Synchron, rather nicely, is actually the collector's rare as well. I do like the collector's rare cards, I have to say. See if we can get it. Just about should go on. I've got 1 Wheel Synchron, 1 Synchron Carrier, and of course 1 Synchron Explorer, probably one of the older cards in the Synchron lineup. But yeah, they're all one-offs, they're all searchable, they're all, you know, nice to haves, but no need to have more than 1. And that's it for monsters, guys. So we're moving on to spells, and we'll start with the new card itself, which sort of prompted this video in the first place. But we've got Synchro Fellowship. So add 2 monsters from your deck to your hand, 1 Junk Synchron and 1 monster that mentions Junk Warrior or Stardust Dragon, and then discard 1 card. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 Synchro monster you control, reduce its level by 1. Then you can normal summon 1 Synchron monster during your main phase this turn, in addition to your normal summoner set. You can only do that once per turn. But yeah, it's cool. The artwork's amazing. Bit of Junk Synchron in the foreground there. In the background, these 2 guys as well. I had considered those because obviously they've got new versions on them. I haven't introduced them to the list yet. I might well do though. I'll have to have a look on how good they are. but not in this list at this stage. So that's the new sort of spell at 3 of. There's a few cards that came out, but they're only sort of minor one-offs really that I had in the list before. I've still got the 3 tuning, of course, and again, a little bit of artwork appreciation. I absolutely love the alt-art version of tuning, and especially the sort of stance of Junk Warrior on there. Not Junk Warrior. Junk Synchron, blimey. Yeah, Junk Synchron just there as well. I absolutely love those. I think they're great. But yeah, so 3 tuning, very appropriate, of course. We're still running the Synchro Overtake at 3 as well. I still think it's very, very cool card. Like I say, this one came out with Stardust Synchron as well, didn't it? So I think that came out in the same set. Can't remember now. Okay, a few more sort of lesser popular ones, but we're still running the On Your Mark, Get Set Duel. I just love it. You know, it's just all part of the archetype, isn't it? And obviously it's all part of the 5D stuff, and it was one of the more recent additions to the deck, to be fair, but it's in there still anyway. And then I've got 5 one-offs again. So we've got 1 Synchron Chase. Let's go right over there, which again, cool artwork. 1 Final Cross. 1 Stardust Elimination. I think that went from 2 to 1, adding Fellowship into it. They've still got the 1 Monster Reborn. I still believe this is a good card in this particular deck. And of course, 1 Reinforcement of the Army, of course, because we're hunting those warrior monsters down. And that's it for spells, guys. And then just into the traps, we've got 2 Synchro Zones, which I run in my Yang Zings as well, actually. I think it's just give us a lot of protection for Synchro monsters. There may be better traps out there, guys. Don't don't think that you need to play those. That's just what I've got in there. But yeah, like I said, there are a lot more meta-relevant cards if you want to add them, but this is just for funsies, really. 1 Starlight Road, of course, as well. It's its own deck, and why not? And then 1 Scrap Iron Sacred Statue, because of course we are running the Crimson Dragon himself in the extra deck. Speaking of which, we'll jump straight into the extra deck. Like I say, we'll I generally do this in sort of level order. It might not be appropriate entirely, but we've got 1 Crimson Dragon as aforementioned, 1 Shooting Star Dragon, 1 Satellite Warrior, 1 XL Synchro Stardust Dragon, 1 Stardust Dragon, which I probably could do with a second one. I'm not entirely sure yet. 1 Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, 1 Q-Belt the Blade Dragon, which I just think the artwork's really cool on that one. 1 Junk Archer, 1 Stardust Charge Warrior. I have to try and remember the names on these because they're all very similar. Stardust Assault Warrior, 1 Junk Warrior, of course, 1 TG Hyper Librarian, fairly common in a full-on Synchro deck, 1 XL Synchron, 1 Junk Speeder, and the only other addition is a Martial Metal Marcher, just to give us the sort of level 3, if I can just squeeze these on just about, Synchro option, which of course is a tuner itself. So yeah, that's the full list of the extra deck, guys. Like I say, there's a definite room for playing here. If you'd rather play other cards, then please feel free to do so, of course. However, I'd love you to tell me what they are. You know, this isn't my final list. This is sort of the one I'm playing with at the minute, and to get a little bit of steer on it via the comment section, that would be great if you can be bothered to do so. But like I say, guys, it's not like I say, it's not a hard-hitting deck. It's not going into locals and expecting to do really, really well. You're not. This is just for fun and playing the sort of original archetypes that I've got available. Guys, once again, thanks very much for tuning in, and we'll see you for the next profile. Bye bye then.